فريق مصر نهرت.
شما در جریان هست تا وقتی به نتیجه مشخصی نرسه نمیشه در موردش قضاوت کرد. همه آنچه که گفته میشه الان کمان زنی هایی که صورت میگیره به نظر من بهش اهمیت نباید داده بشه تا وقتی که به قطعیت.
Thank you, dear Deputy Prime Minister dear Ishak. I'm really glad to be here in Islamabad today. Even if it is for a brief visit, it comes at an important moment. Since we last met in November, the world and this region have experienced profound changes. Pakistan is a major regional power and an important partner for the European Union. Today, in our strategic dialogue, we reaffirmed our shared commitment to strengthening EU-Pakistan ties even further. On trade in particular, there is already a strong momentum. The European Union remains by far Pakistan's largest export destination. It's actually larger than China and US combined. And Pakistan is the world's leading beneficiary of European Union trade preferences, the GSP+. But GSP Plus has clear conditions. Continued preferential access to the EU market depends on progress in implementing the international conventions underpinning the scheme. This includes good governance, environmental protection, and particularly labour and human rights. We look to Pakistan to demonstrate tangible progress on these issues. Beyond trade, we are deepening cooperation on a wide range of issues, including climate resilience, digital infrastructure, clean energy, migration and mobility. People-to-people links are also an important part of our partnership. I'm also impressed that Pakistan tops the EU's global Erasmus Mundus scholarship rankings again, the 5th year in a row. The Deputy Prime Minister and I today exchanged views on pressing global developments, including in the Middle East. Pakistan has been the main mediator between the United States and Iran. Your diplomatic efforts have helped to prevent a return to full-blown war on several occasions. And these efforts are much recognized and appreciated across Europe. With your support, there is now a tenuous diplomatic opening to extend the ceasefire and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Yet any temporary understanding between US and Iran must be followed by deeper talks about Tehran's nuclear stockpile and other critical issues. Lasting stability will require more encompassing solutions. The European Union is ready to contribute to a sustainable and peaceful solution. We bring economic leverage, hard-won nuclear expertise, long-standing relationships with partners across the Gulf, and direct engagement with Iran itself. I see a concrete role for the EU in helping to make any eventual agreement durable, whether through maritime operations, economic incentives that support long-term stability, or other issues. Here in the region, Pakistan has been locked in a conflict with Afghanistan. The fighting in recent weeks have had grave humanitarian consequences and also risks fueling further instability and radicalization. And this is why we have constantly called on both sides to exercise restraint and de-escalation. Pakistan has the right to defend itself and its people in line with the international law, but dialogue, not airstrikes, are the best off-ramp in this situation. We also discussed many other important topics, but I will leave it here. So thank you again, dear Deputy Prime Minister, dear Ishak, for welcoming us here today, and I'm looking forward to continuing closer cooperation. Thank you.
Back your team every match. The States, Mexico, Canada. You wear your flag on your face. Scream with the fans from the stands. World Cup, I know my team, my flag. Let's go. World Cup, I know from pitch to screen. Let's go. World Cup, I know tickets you scan. Let's go. World Cup, I know the love the game, you know.
De la Sierra Morena, cielito lindo vienen bajando. Ay, 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 ay. Canta y no llores, porque
Is there anything really positive we can say? And the answer is yes. It is that long term, we're seeing the end of OPEC. And OPEC is an oil cartel that ensures that profits, significant profits, are going to the countries that are producing and exporting the oil, and that there isn't effective competition among them. There's no free market, and that means much less efficiency in a globalized market. So the end of OPEC is clearly a positive for the world. And more importantly, when everyone sees how easy it is for a small number of committed individuals with drones that are cheap and easy to make can disrupt the Strait of Hormuz, the same thing is true for the Red Sea. The same thing is true for the Strait of Malacca. And that means that long term, your commitment to oil and gas really needs to reduce. It's a 20th century technology. The prices aren't going down as technology improves. You're much better off shifting to electric vehicles, as we see the world doing much faster now, and advanced battery technology and solar and wind and nuclear and all of those things. And frankly, in 5 years' time, we'll look back and see that President Trump has done more through the war in Iran to advance a transition to a post-carbon energy agenda than any American president in history. And that really is a good thing for the world. I mean, the Chinese are much better positioned for it right now than the Americans are. But surely, as we've seen with semiconductors and critical minerals, as the Chinese really press that advantage globally, the Americans will eventually get the joke and pick it up. This may not be Trump's intention in launching the war, certainly wasn't, but nonetheless is a consequence and one that we can all celebrate. Got to look for the silver linings.
Several of these projects are all underway simultaneously, just in time for the warm weather and all of these signature events for America 250. Let's first take a look at Meridian Hill Park. A cascading fountain is now up and running at this historic landmark in Northwest D.C. You can see the before and after photos. The Department of the Interior announcing that the water was once again up and running after a years-long closure that led to a dystopian look. And around town, we are seeing several of these iconic sites that were run down and dilapidated, forgotten about. The major hub, Union Station, is in the process, too, of being restored, thanks to a $465 million federal grant. Nearby Columbus Circle, the focal point for those coming into or out of that rail and bus station. It's now reopened. For years, it was overrun with homeless encampments and tents, as well as a site for left-wing protests. Well, the White House sharing this post of the before and after, how it looked under the Biden administration and how it looks today. The legal battle involving the Kennedy Center is still brewing. That is the main artistic venue in D.C. for various performing arts. As the center planned that 2-year closure, they said there was overdue maintenance and critical infrastructure projects needed to the tune of $250 million. Of course, a judge just halted those plans. So, Tom, we are continuing to follow what is the future of the Kennedy Center. And meantime, there has been opposition to some of the projects, most of all the White House ballroom. You hear some pushback from Democrats to that one. And also, let's look ahead, too, to July 4th, the UFC event near the White House grounds. So a lot is going to be happening around town this summer. And as you said, the renovations will be underway for tourists and locals alike.